Okay, is everyone in, Amy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm Monica Magani, and if I can just remind you guys to stay on mute until the end, and we will have a live Q&A, or you can also type your questions in the chat, and I'm happy to ask Jim as we go. With that, I will pass it over to our CEO, Jim Poole.
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you. I'm looking at the roster. I even see people from Australia on, which is very late there. That's impressive. Well, today we're going to talk about triumphant. Yes. So for any of you who have listened to it, I think the first thing that you notice is you just feel good. It almost puts a smile on your face and a smile on your heart. And it's a couple years in the making. You know, we worked on it for 13 or 14 months, but we really were thinking about this for quite a while. Now, when we build stuff, historically, in 2016, we actually had to license some of the tracks because we didn't have an expertise in what we were doing at that point. But in the last 7 years, we have become the world's leading experts in designing meticulous compositions of music to go with our physics. But this one, some people would think, hey, it's just somebody in a studio making stuff happen with synthesizers or whatever. None of that is true. This is all instrumentation. It is all done organically, and it is all done specifically for us. Now, triumphant, I'll get into the physics in a little bit, but the music composition, for those of you who are fans of classical music, Beethoven is by far my favorite. His pieces are always highly inspirational, very ambitious. They build to something, very nice crescendos. My personal favorite's Ode to Joy, Symphony No. 9. This is inspired from Symphony No. 7. So for those of you who are fans of Beethoven, Triumphant is built around Symphony No. 7. You'll hear a couple breaks in it. You'll hear the organ piece, which is an ode to Bach, and you'll hear the Brahms as well. Now, something that's interesting with Ignite, same thing with Rescue, same thing with Flow State, same thing with Power Nap. And you may notice this, and if you don't, you'll notice it now that we talk about it. As soon as you start to become emotionally attached to any melody inside of our neuroacoustic software journeys, you'll notice it moves. It's not specific to your listening, it's specific to a time cadence. The goal of NuCalm is to create what's called hypnagogic dissociation, which is a fancy term for losing time and space. And the key is that when we're doing anything from focus to ignite to rescue to deep sleep, the key is to extract the brain's ability to dominate your body and separate the body. Now, if your brain gets attached to a melody, your brain then becomes in the driver's seat again and begins to control your body again. So that's something I think that's quite fascinating. Every journey we have, whether it's a melodic approach for a minute or two, and we may come back to it 13, 17, 26 minutes later, but as soon as you start to get kind of into that melody, it shifts. That's why it does that. So Ignite Triumphant, 13 minutes, the same physics as the prior 4 journeys. So we have certainty, we have gratitude, we have unstoppable. We've got instrumental pieces. We've got the Tony Robbins pieces. They're all designed to elicit a physiological state change and put you in a state of high performance, of peak mental and physical activity. So how do we do this? Well, many of you already know, or you've read, or you've understood from working with us, that the human brainwave frequency operates in a range of 41 hertz. And above the highest levels of stress is a sweet spot called gamma, and gamma is 39 to 41 hertz. It's a very tight band and it's a very fast frequency. In 39 to 41 hertz, there's a lot of really cool things happen that are quite beneficial to us. In fact, there's a lot of research in the last 5 to 10 years, a lot done by Rudy Tanzi over Harvard Medical School, showcasing that the higher frequency gamma brainwave function is actually correlated to helping reduce plaque in the brain and help reduce the onset of dementia, which is quite fascinating. So we'll definitely be paying attention to that. But as your brain gets into 39 to 41 hertz, on the musculature side, which is really easy to feel, you'll notice your gross motor cortex, your premotor strip, your gross motor strip, your senses, everything gets peaked. And we're really just building up this whole aspect of what do I want to do? How do I want to perform? Whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a military operation, whether it's an athletic event, your body will be in a keen sense of high state of awareness and alert. But also your mind is, which is quite fascinating. So in that 39 to 41 hertz, yes, there's a dump of dopamine. You're definitely getting that really ambitious go, 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 go. There's a dump of adrenaline, but you also have a high intense mental acuity. And this is really important for performance, because in performance, there's an adage in golf: if you think, you stink. And the key is not to allow the noise to come from other aspects of your brain. So fear, insecurity, confusion, exhaustion, anxiety, that clouds your brain. We call it noise in the signal. At 39 to 41 hertz, there is no space for that. So you are literally at a place where your muscle memory and all of your training is activated. So how do we do this? Because it does seem rather phenomenal that you can listen to something with headphones and elicit a dramatic physiological state change. I listened to Triumphant about 30 minutes ago, and I'm still feeling the buzz from it. We do this through software. We do this through algorithms, mathematics, and physics that lie in a software bed. This software bed is very complex. There's a lot of different elements to it. In 2009, we launched the first NuCalm neuroacoustic software. That was 4 discrete tracks, journeys, 30 minutes each. One was piano, one was spa, one was guitar, one was symphony and orchestra. 4 journeys, 30 minutes each. For 7 years, that's all we offered. And this is when we were doing all the medical work and all the surgical procedures, and all you ever heard was this repeating loop of 30-minute journeys. In 2016, we created NuCalm 2.0. And in the last 10 to 15 years, the field of neuroscience has really blown up, and the amount of knowledge and learning of the human brain is equivalent to probably the last 1,000 years of our understanding of the brain. So in the last 10 years, we've learned more than the previous 1,000 collectively. So it's really fascinating. And one of the cool things about working with our team is that we are on a humble journey of continuous improvement. We're never static. We never stay in one place and say, hey, we've completed the circuit. We know we've mapped the human brainwave function. We've done that. There's 5 categories of brainwave. We have 6 channels that manage the brainwave, but we're never stopping. So some elements that are really fun is some of the ancient music modalities actually create healthier entrainment, and they strengthen the grip that we have on our physics. So in 2020, we launched NuCalm 3.0. So we're at a place today where the grip of our physics is so profound, we can take you really anywhere. We can take you to the slowest waveform of delta, all the way up to the highest waveform of gamma, and everywhere in between, alpha, theta, and beta. So this physics platform lies underneath music. You will notice in Ignite that we raise the decibels of the physics. That's that low end kind of monotone. It sounds like this. We did that on purpose for 2 reasons. One, in 2016 and 17, we began working with the military and professional athletes. And, you know, when you're working in those groups, you don't have a lot of access. I'm not going there, and we're not educating them on a regular basis. And we didn't want any of the military special forces operators or Navy SEALs or Air Force Special Operations Command or BORTAC or BORSTAR or the professional athletes. We didn't want them to think that this was just music, because it's not. So we literally demonstratively raised the decibel level of the physics platform. So when you're listening to Ignite, you'll hear on the bottom end that rumble. That's the physics. That's what's doing all the work. On rescue, flow state, power nap, you will not hear that. It's not audible to the human ear. It's not raised. So it strengthens the physics. And all we're doing is using your ears like a Trojan horse as a carrier to present your brain with a signal, using the auditory motor cortex to present your brain with that pattern. Now, the complexity of our software is second to none. We've been pioneering this for 33 years. We have stood alone for 33 years, and we continue to stand alone. The key is this. The brain is so phenomenal. It is so cool working with the brain, trying to understand the brain, and even cooler and challenging to trick the brain. You want to trick the human brain and you want to do it in a sustainable fashion and you want to do it repeatable. That's incredible. That's a really big task. Well, the reticular activating system of the brain has a tremendous capability of pattern recognition and finding shortcuts. And it does this all the time with everything, all five senses and your intuition. It is constantly evaluating your surroundings and finding patterns. That's its role. And so in the 2020 NuCalm 3.0 release, we further strengthened the nonlinear oscillating algorithm, and it is very complex. I was recently reading through our patent application, looking at all the variations. It's quite phenomenal. You could earn a PhD in physics just reading that patent application. But essentially what we're doing is we're layering a binaural signal processing and isochronic waveform, one after the other, after the other. We're forcing the reticular activated system to be consumed, taking all your brain matter, all your brain's attention, trying to figure out the pattern. But you will never acclimatize to the pattern of NuCalm. You will never acclimatize to the pattern of Triumphant. You will never acclimatize to any of the patterns because of the strength of the nonlinear oscillating algorithm, which is in a perpetual dynamic flow. So it's the physics that's doing this. Unstoppable, certainty, gratitude with Tony, Triumphant, it's all the same physics. The platform is identical. Whether it's 13 minutes or 14 minutes and 37 seconds long, it doesn't matter. The pattern's identical. We start our entrainment at 15 hertz. 15 hertz is beta alert, and it's on the bottom end of the learning zone. And then we cycle you through to 39 to 40 to 41 hertz. The last 3 minutes of every Ignite journey is pure gamma. We used to call it warrior brain. I think that might have intimidated some people. It's not. There's nothing to be intimidated by it. It's quite fascinating, quite incredible. You're not going to do things that you don't want to do. You're just going to do everything that you're going to do better. And so the last 3 minutes of every Ignite journey is pure gamma. And that's when you're really amped up. One thing you'll also notice, which is quite fascinating, you lose sense of time. Those 13 minutes fly. You kind of get engaged. You're on your computer, whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. But you lose that sense of time and the track ends and you're like, wait a second, that was 13 minutes long? That's incredible. Now, a lot of people will loop it. You can do whatever suits your physiology. We have no idea how you're metabolizing through adrenaline or whatever you're doing on a daily basis. Some people are more susceptible to it and others just keep on going. So you can loop Ignite as much as you want. Just stop listening to it if you begin to feel agitated, as if you've had too much caffeine. That's it. That's the only kind of caveat. Also, we kind of recommend don't listen to Ignite within 3 hours of your bedtime because you may find it difficult to relax, calm down, and be able to sleep. Now, a little trick that I figured out my own, 3 or 4 occasions I over-ignited. They were in the car, actually. So, that low hum and you're just driving and you're talking and you don't even notice. And then when I got to my destination, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. My brain and my body was so out of whack. I was so amped up. I was like, I have to do something here. So I use NuCalm Rescue to come down and get back into balance for that. So that's a little trick that I use personally. So Triumphant is born out of inspiration. We made this gender neutral and culturally agnostic for a reason. We have a lot of people that are high performers. We have a lot of 28 to 42-year-old male professional athletes, Olympic athletes, etc. We have a lot of military. We have a lot of people that follow Ben Greenfield or Tony Robbins, and we have a lot of elements of that. And we built tracks and journeys for that audience. This is not that. This is for everybody. And we want people to really embrace Ignite, not be intimidated by it, use it, get a feel for how powerful it is, and then use it with caution. Much like deep sleep, we tell people don't use deep sleep or don't start it if you wake up in the night at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning and you want to get up in an hour or two. Don't start deep sleep then because it'll keep you in a mental state of lethargy. So Ignite Triumphant is designed to activate you, to create great mental acuity and clarity, fast-acting neuronal coherence, where your brain is just operating at a very high rate of speed. It's distraction-free. You're focused on anything you need to focus on, but you also have full access to your muscle memory. You're not plagued by insecurity, confusion, exhaustion, malnourishment, circadian rhythm dysregulation, whatever elements kind of corrupt our ability to perform at our highest level, they're gone. That is Ignite. 13 minutes, 14 minutes, 14 minutes and 37 seconds. The 2 tracks that we have, voiceovers, are fascinating and fun. In April of 2017, we trained the Washington Capitals, Tony Robbins, myself, and Dave Poole in Toronto, of all places. And we took that as the inspiration for certainty. And then the following year in March, for 5 hours in a hotel in Oakland, we trained the Golden State Warriors. And we use that training specifically for gratitude. So yes, you're listening to 2, professional teams that went on to win the Stanley Cup and the World Championship. And is it specific to the military? No. Is it specific to presenting in a boardroom? No. But does it kind of focus your attention, generate buzz and enthusiasm, make you want to work harder, push harder? Yes. So in the future, we may enlist other people of influence to do voiceovers. The meticulous design is quite fascinating. Everything we do has a meticulous design to it because of the complexity of the brain. When we first did the Washington Capitals training, Tony handed me the master tape. We took apart over 100,000 words and 240,000 syllables. This is like micro neurosurgery. And then we stitched it back together on top of our physics in a pattern with a soundtrack. So does it take a while for us to build those? Yes. Did it take us more than a year to build Triumphant? Yes. Are we building it in concert with the physics? Yes. Is it meticulous? Yes. And can you feel the power of it? Absolutely. Dan Celine is a master producer and just an incredible brain when it comes to collaboration. And years ago, he said to me, Jim, I can't tell you how. I can't tell you how. I can just show you when we create brilliance and we create something that'll stand the test of time, your brain will simply know. And that's true for all of us. When we launch these new journeys, people are like, okay, what'd you do to the new flow state? Or what'd you do with the new power nap? There's something different. Yeah, it's us taking a collection of all of our wisdom, all of our understanding and learning and studies. And in addition to all the stuff in the literature about neuroscience and the complexity of the brain and the reticular activating system and entrainment and gross motor cortex and sensory motor rhythm and all these elements, and just making it better. So every journey that we release is stronger than anything that we have released prior. That's the beauty of continuous improvement. And it begs this kind of caveat. The human brain, for all of our complexities, has a few elements that are quite fascinating. We are all creatures of habit. All. Not one of us is not. It's our central nervous system. And we get to liking stuff. And it's funny because there's no such thing as a second first impression. For example, if you listen to a live recording of your favorite band of a song, and then you listen to the studio recording, you'll always prefer the live recording first because your first impression took all that information and says, wow, I love this. I love the voice. I love the melody. I love the chorus, whatever it is that you loved about it. You will never like the second thing you listen to more than the first. So we, as humans and as NuCalmers, we get really, really close and emotionally attached to certain journeys. And so we try to find them in the app. The new flow state, 7 chakras, is 23 minutes. It's amazing. I want it. Yeah. So I go to flow state and I try it and I hit go. So I'm in flow state and I go to it and I say, okay, I want flow state 30. And I hit start and I look at the bottom. Yay, it's the right journey that I want. That's the new one. Okay. That's not what we're intending to do. Your brain will never get used to it, but your brain will benefit more by constantly tricking it. So please don't get stuck on one journey and just repeat after me. Always, 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 always rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Keep using the journeys and keep exploring the new ones because the beauty of the brain and the complexity of what we do, everything out there is stronger and better. I guarantee that many of you on this call right now have never heard the latest Rescue 120. It was the strongest journey we've ever created in the history of neuroscience. The best one, the most incredible one. And none of you have ever even heard it for two reasons. One, you become creatures of habit and you grow an affinity to Rescue 30 Volume 2 with the 7 chakras, or Rescue 50 with Karen Nash playing that guitar work, or Rescue 70 Volume 2. That's number one. Number two, you're intimidated by the 120. None of you are going to use NuCalm Rescue 120 and be in there for 2 hours unless you are dying, like on death's doorstep. Other than that, you're good. You'll be in NuCalm Rescue on a random afternoon for 35 to 42 minutes, and that's just life unless you're traveling and your circadian rhythm's disrupted. So please continue to try out the new journeys, remembering that everything that we release new is better than anything prior we've ever created, which is quite fascinating. And then hopefully down in the near future, we'll create some more collaborations with specific experts in the field of influence and vocal. So that is Ignite. Ignite Triumphant is our fifth Ignite journey. 3 instrumental. This is our first classical one, and designed for you to use anytime you wish. We've had many people replace their coffee habit. Coffee is amazing. Does it increase your brainwave frequency? Yes. Does it increase your inspiration to get through your day? Yes. Does it increase the speed at which your brain thinks? Yes. But does it also create a lot of acid in your stomach? Yes. Does it make your bowels kind of activate? Yes. Does Triumphant? No. Does Triumphant have anything to do with your microbiome and compromising your body's digestion? No. Does it have everything to do with increasing your brainwave frequency? Yes. So you can do a couple of things. One, you can entirely replace coffee, or you can still have 1 cup. You get the smell, you get that kind of affinity, you feel good, it's a nice habit, and then augment it with Ignite. You can do that. You can absolutely do Ignite for pre-workout. Many of us will find reasons not to work out, especially if we work out later in the afternoon. In the morning, you kind of get up, you do your thing, and you go work out. Great. But the people that work out in the afternoon, there's a battle that begins to happen in our brain about an hour before we go to work out. And that's our brain saying, oh, we can do it tomorrow. Oh, there's so much for me to do. Oh, that's when you use Ignite. You put it on and you leave no doubt. You have an absolute certainty about what you're trying to accomplish. And before you know it, you're already in your workout clothes, prepared to go work out. So pre-workout, it's really powerful. Pre anything that's important to you, a presentation, a meeting, a phone call, anything that you want to perform really well at, anything that you have anticipatory anxiety over. So say you're going to sleep and you're worrying about something, whatever you're worrying about, if it's the next day, it's some kind of performance, it doesn't matter what it is, that is a great opportunity for you to use Ignite prior to that performance. Literally, it does not matter what it is, because remember, your body and your musculature will be improved, your sensory motor rhythm will be improved, your gross motor cortex will be improved, your 5 senses will be peaked, but also your mental acuity will be as well. So please use it for that purpose. The second thing I want to discuss today is the second channel that's all action oriented. You'll notice of our 6 channels that we can manage all 5 categories of brainwave function, from the slowest waveform of deep sleep in delta to the highest waveform of gamma and 39 to 41 hertz. Great. You will also notice that Rescue, Flow State, and Power Nap are anchor technologies designed to balance your autonomic nervous system, to balance your endocrine system, your hormones, your sleep, your stress response, really the key for your health, your longevity, your resilience, lowering inflammation, increasing your immune strength. This is really key for your health, for every human being on earth, for mankind's existence, your existence, and your cellular restoration, your sleep, everything is built around Rescue. Everything about health and wellness, longevity, resilience is about Rescue. That is the key anchor technology. That's what we've used in over 2 million surgical procedures, replacing general anesthesia. That's what we use in cancer treatment, multiple sclerosis, addiction, trauma, you name it. That is key, and is the key for preventing future disease states for all of us as well. Deep sleep is amazing. Deep sleep has been an amazing addition to the portfolio and has been the most popular journeys of all for two reasons. One, all of us invariably have sleep issues. This is not by surprise and it's not by design, but after puberty, our sleep gets compromised on a regular basis. And over the course of our life, the more years we're living, the less sleep we're getting, the more compromised our sleep is. So number one, it's the most profound problem and easiest to identify. Number two, it's the easiest to use. You simply just put it through a speaker in your bedroom at night at bedtime, you hit play and off you go. So deep sleep is by far our most popular journey across the world. But we have focus and we have ignite. Focus and ignite have nothing to do with health. They have nothing to do with cellular restoration, longevity, lowering inflammation, improving your resilience. They have everything to do with doing. Ignite would be at the further end of this continuum where you really want to do in a high-paced peace of mind. But focus is our second action-oriented channel. Focus was the last for us to create, took us 7 years to develop it. And Focus we launched in July of 2022. Focus is unique because it puts your brainwave function in between this state of 15 to 20 hertz with a specificity of 18.4 hertz, which happens to be the ultimate learning zone where we clear your brain of all distractions. People think intuitively, because they don't know any better, that distractions are external. Like right now, there's a air blower outside blowing like 3 leaves off the sidewalk. Okay, that's distracting me. Great. Distractions aren't external. It's not someone knocking at the door. It's not the UPS guy delivering something. Distractions are internal. Distractions are fear, insecurity, expectation, feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, hungry, worrying about what you're having for dinner, going to the bathroom, right? It's all in here. Focus stops all that. Focus declutters your brain. Most of us are never taught how to learn. Most of us never understood brainwave function. We were never taught brainwave function. Most of us didn't know or still don't know that 15 to 20 hertz is a learning zone. But it's really important that we understand this concept because we've wasted a lot of time trying to impose our will on our brain and learn when we're not in a state to learn. Learning is state dependent, meaning that you can't learn when you're feeling anxious. You can't learn when you're worried. You can't learn when you're feeling overwhelmed. You can't learn when you're isolated, depressed, lonely, exhausted. You can try to endeavor to persevere, and you will fail miserably because your brain is not in a state that it can encode new information, and it certainly cannot consolidate it to memory. So the learning zone is a certain frequency, 15 to 20 hertz. It is below the stress response. The stress response and anxiety begins around 20 hertz. It's a fast-acting frequency. So focus allows you the opportunity, without the musculature, without activating all 5 senses, without increasing your peripheral vision and your gross motor cortex and your premotor strip, all the things that Ignite does, literally activate your brain and your body at once. It's like a train. Hey, we're going to move forward. Focus does it in a subtle way, and it does it very quickly. Focus puts your brain at 15 to 20 hertz with a specific frequency range of 18.4 hertz. And in this state, you are capable of learning more, of having high levels of clarity, comprehension, concentration, and encoding the information and consolidating it to memory. And you'll also notice when you're listening to Focus with headphones and you're working that you lose sense of time. It happens with everything we do. We're taking control away from your brain, from dominating your body, understanding that your body has always known how to take care of you, always has known how to keep you in balance and to heal you. It's our monkey mind that dominates our body through the release of adrenaline, catecholamines, norepinephrine, epinephrine. That's the chaos. And this physics platform simply goes in and says, hey, where do you want to be right now? Do you want to sleep? Listen to deep sleep. Do you want to restore and recover and make up for a poor night's sleep or jet lag or malnourishment, dehydration, hungover? Doesn't matter. We'll do rescue. Do you want to work? Do you want to write? Do you want to feel capable of writing and being in the zone? That's Focus. So our action-oriented channels include Focus at 15 to 20 hertz. high state of mental acuity, encoding new information, processing new information, using new neuronal coherence, new cognitive pathways, new neuroplasticity, and consolidating to memory. With a headphone, it is strong. Strong, strong, strong. Why? Because our physics platform used two ways to entrain your brain. They always have. They have binaural signal processing, which tricks the brain, relying on the compensatory mechanisms of the brain, presenting different hertz in each ear and allowing the brain to do the math and compensate. The second way to do it is isochronic waveform, which is to present the brain with a pattern through ambient air waves. So all of our physics, every journey we have has both forms, meaning there's a continuum of strength. But if you want full access to the strength of our physics to guide your brain to a desired outcome, put headphones on and it'll take you to that zone. There's no need for a disc. There's no need for an eye mask. This is not an immersive experience. This is an action-oriented channel. Focus and Ignite are both action-oriented. The physics are designed for mental acuity, for an ability to get more done in less time and be more mentally efficient. And one of the ancillary benefits to focus is that you simply feel good. Why? Because when you get rid of the noise and the signal, typically it's negative stuff from your amygdala, fear, stress, anxiety, depression, worry, expectation, overwhelm. You get rid of all that. What are you left with? You just feel good. So you'll notice that your mood is enhanced when you're listening to focus. You're doing your best work. You're highly efficient and you feel good afterwards. So that is the platform. You can continue to rely on us to build more journeys, better journeys, more effective, faster acting, deeper, more powerful, more long-lasting journeys. This year alone, we've already released 3 journeys. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, for 9 years, we had 4 journeys. That's all we had. So we are in this renaissance for us where we're just pushing through and just releasing stuff with an exceptional rate of speed and an exceptional level of complexity and awesomeness. The last 2 years, we've launched hours and hours and hours of new neuroacoustic software journeys to create greater opportunity for you, greater variability for you, and greater access to control whatever state you want, when you want, how you want. So with that being said, Monica Magani, why don't I open it up to questions?
Okay, perfect. So maybe for the newbies on here or the non-veterans, can you talk a little bit about the disc, using a speaker, and the eye mask, what to use when and with which journeys?
Yes, of course. Speaker is to be used really predominantly for deep sleep. Deep sleep was our most difficult, challenging neuroacoustic software platform. It took us 9 years to invent, refine, and launch deep sleep. We launched it in November of 2021. We did this predominantly with isochronic waveforms, even though binaural signal processing is involved as well. We did this for a reason. People don't want to fall asleep with headphones on or in earbuds. Your ears are going to get tired. It's going to be uncomfortable, this and that and the other thing. So deep sleep is the only channel that's specifically designed for you to use a speaker. Do not use the speaker of your mobile phone. People think, because we don't know any different, that music can change your mental state. Music cannot change your mental state. That is a physiological impossibility. So whoever's telling you that either doesn't understand the complexity of the brain or they're just lying to you to sell product. Let's take an example. Say you're having a tough day, you're going through something and your life's kind of feels like shit and you're feeling very anxious. Your brainwave is oscillating at a frequency that's probably above 25 hertz. If you were to listen to a song, a Celine Dion song or some kind of romantic song, that is not going to change your state. You're not leaving the anxious state by listening to music. It doesn't work that way. The brain will not tolerate any of that. It couldn't care less about music. This has nothing to do with music. For us, we use music as a carrier to increase the strength and as a distraction so that you're not listening to the drone of a physics platform. So this has nothing to do with music. The journeys are enormous. So if you know anything about bandwidth and Wi-Fi, each NuCalm journey is over a gigabyte of information. Well, this mobile phone speaker can't support the amount of information that's coming out of our software and into your brain. please use a speaker. If you were to do one night with just this next to your bed, which isn't good for EMFs, and you're going to have maybe 10% of the experience. It may help you fall asleep. It may help you keep asleep. The next night, use a speaker, and it's like a sledgehammer across your head. You're done. It's putting you out, and that's the reality of deep sleep. So please use a speaker for deep sleep each and every time. Now, if you travel, you can use an iPad. I travel with an iPad. It's next to my bed. I put Summer Rain on, and yay, I'm gone. So that's the speaker. iMask. There are 3 immersive NuCalm experiences predicated and built around the anchor technology of rescue. Rescue, rescue, rescue. If we had our druthers, we would recommend that all 8 billion people on this earth today use rescue every single day. Why? Because to our knowledge, stress never takes a holiday. Anxiety, worry, fear, anticipatory anxiety, expectation, overwhelm never takes a break. The amygdala loves finding things to worry about. The amygdala is what manages our reptilian side of our brain and has a lot of, it's a hog. It's selfish and it sucks a lot of our brain's resources. Most of the day, most of us on this earth are presented with shit coming from the amygdala, and we have to manage that shit all day long, and it's exhausting. So our recommendation to humanity in the desire of keeping the human race alive is that we would all use rescue every day, because when you use rescue, we go right to the midbrain and we tell the amygdala to shut up. Hey, we're not interested in what you have to say, because what you have to say has never provided value for us. Worry has never provided value for the human brain. But boy, does it take a lot of resources. So rescue is the anchor. Power nap was designed because of you. Has nothing to do with science. We didn't develop power nap because of science. We developed power nap because back in the day, in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, when we were pioneering the most advanced neuroscience the world has ever seen, and no one seemed to care about recovery, sleep, and restoration 13, 14 years ago, we looked like aliens. We sounded like aliens. And when we'd say, hey, we've developed technology that quickly, predictably, and safely relaxes the mind and body within minutes with no side effects, people are like, wow, that sounds fascinating. You say, I know, doesn't it? And it really works. Would you like to try it? Yes, I would. Well, how do I try it? Well, we're going to need 30 minutes. Oh my God. You'd think we were asking them to take their home. Their butt cheeks puckered up and they panicked. I don't have 30 minutes. Do you know how important I am? Do you? Do you know how important my to-do list is? Do you? No, we don't. We think 1/48 of the day is plenty of time and a good investment in your health, because we will help keep you alive with 30 minutes. Didn't work that way. So in 2012 and 13, we're doing research with the world's leading statistical biophysicist, Dr. Chung-Kang Pang, and his research associates, statistical biophysicists from NASA and a whole bunch of other places. Really, really bright people. And their analysis came back and they said to us, did you know that 20 minutes of your product, NuCalm Rescue, creates 2 hours of restorative sleep for the brain? And I didn't really understand what this meant. He said, this isn't sleep as in the sleep architecture. The sleep cycle is 90 minutes to 100 minutes, and you go through all the stages of sleep. No, this is, you're literally taking the brain to this sweet spot of theta, where the body heals on a cellular level. This is the key to longevity, the key to health, the key to preventing disease. You guys take it there and you hold it there. So every 20 minutes of your product is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep. Did you know that? And we said, no, thank you for the information. That's fascinating. So we built in 2016 and 17, Power Nap to take care of you, because consumers today, humans all over the globe, are too self-important, too busy to take care of themselves. And they just don't know any better. It's hard to articulate the power of cellular restoration in the hypnagogic dissociative state of REM sleep during the day, right? Putting you in the state of healing. There's no language that can describe it. So people don't understand this. So we built Power Nap for that purpose. Power Nap is built on the physics of rescue. It is built on taking your brain into alpha in a journey to get to the promised land, which is theta, and then hold you into theta. The rescue journeys, it takes us 8.5 minutes to take you to the sweet spot. 8.5 minutes. The power nap, we did it faster because we needed to. So we did it in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So 5 minutes and 30 seconds, we take you to the floor of theta where you're healing, just above deep sleep. We hold you there to the last 2 minutes. From minute 18 to 20, we take you back up to 15 hertz. Power nap is designed expressly and only for when you literally don't have 30 minutes to take care of yourself. I don't know how that happens. I don't know when or why in your life you wouldn't have 1/48 of the day to take care of yourself, knowing that stress never takes a break, that all the cumulative stress, anxiety, fear, worry, expectation that we build up compromises our health, creates disease, creates misery. I think we can find that 30 minutes, but in the event that we don't, 20-minute power naps for that. Then we have flow state. Flow state we created just a few years ago. Now, the way the brainwave works is synonymous with the way the Earth works. And the Earth's magnetic rotation is called the Schumann resonance, which is a specific frequency of 7.83 hertz. Now, not by coincidence, and much to the awesomeness of the connectivity of the universe and the human species to the universe, the human body cavity resonates and vibrates at that same frequency, 7.83 hertz, is the intersection between alpha and theta. And it is a place that allows you access to your subconscious and your creative inspiration. Flow state does not take you into the deep state of theta for cellular restoration and healing. It takes you to the intersection between alpha and theta and allows you a calm, relaxed access point to your creativity. So flow state is designed for that. It is very powerful. You'll notice in the new Flow State 30, where we incorporate the 7 chakras, it is brilliant. It is really powerful. And when you get up, you just feel good. So those 3 experiences demand an eye mask. Why? Because we are visually stimulated by light. 80% of your cerebral cortex is a visual cortex. We're getting most of the information from our 5 senses through our eyes. Therefore, we cannot relax, we cannot restore, we cannot meditate, we cannot sleep with our eyes open. We want an eye mask. We don't just want you to close your eyes and have light permeate your eyelid. We want an eye mask. So this is an immersive experience. You find a safe place, it's comfortable. Allow your central nervous system to take a break, take a breath, and you go down, whether it's 20 minutes of power nap, 30, 40 minutes of flow state, 50 minutes of rescue, doesn't matter. There you go. Those are the immersive experience. The disc. For newbies, you probably have no idea what we're talking about. But historically, with NuCalm being a clinical system designed for surgical intervention and cancer treatment and trauma and addiction, et cetera, we demanded a fast-acting, deep descent into parasympathetic nervous system dominance. What does that mean? That means flip the switch on the stress response, which is the sympathetic tone, and raise the parasympathetic response, which is the rest and digest. And to do this, we had to bring what we would call a tank to a knife fight, knowing the complexity of the brain, knowing the brain's ability not to want to be invaded by a surgical intervention or a drug or anything. Your brain is a closed loop ecosystem. It doesn't want any external help from anything. Doesn't need the help, doesn't want the help. So when you invade it with a medicament, with a surgical intervention, your brain creates adrenaline and says, hey, we're not into this. We're going to fight like hell. So the biosignal processing disc is the 3rd iteration of a very powerful way to deliver gamma aminobutyric acid, GABA A and GABA B, and other inhibitory neurotransmitters designed to interrupt the HPA axis and slow down the body's ability to resist the physics in the software. The disc today is used predominantly for disease management, cancer, trauma, addiction, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, ALS, Alzheimer's, dementia, neurodegenerative diseases. It's used primarily in professional athletics for accelerated and expedited recovery without drugs. It's used across the military, and it is absolutely used in surgical environment where we demand a fast-acting relaxation response. So the disc is incredible. The invention's incredible. It took the brilliant neuroscientist Blake Holloway 6 years to figure this out. The disc looks like a sticker. Is there an adhesive element to it? Yes. Is it just a sticker? No, it's not just a sticker. We're a neuroscience company. We're not a comic book company. This disc delivers the most efficacious, highly absorbent approach to GABA in the world. If you were to take a liposomal and put it under your tongue, or you use a chewable tablet and hold it in your mouth for sublingual absorption, or you have a transdermal cream, you have to fight the body's pedestrian approach to metabolic processes, absorption, and most importantly, you have to cross the blood-brain barrier. The biosignal processing disc uses biomodulation and resonance, doesn't deal with any of these pedestrian approaches to the body's ability to absorb or not absorb a nutrient from the supplement. It goes right to the source. It has the specific frequencies and a recipe of 6 inhibitory neurotransmitters that are amino acids. It doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier. It goes right to the brain. It doesn't have to cross the blood-brain barrier. It elicits a frequency, and like a tuning fork, as soon as you put that disc on your left wrist, your cells are activating the GABAergic system directly, continuously, and for the entirety of you wearing that disc. The disc itself has a signature frequency, a recipe. It is imprinted inside a Tesla coil onto a 6-layer multi-wave oscillator, which is a semiconductor of information to your brain. It is housed in a Faraday bag that protects it and keeps it inert till you put it on your wrist, and it is activated in your electromagnetism. It is a very, very complicated, incredible delivery system of amino acids designed to create a fast-acting rescue, flow state, and power nap experience. That is what it is for. It sells for $4 per use. NuCalm is $4 per use. And people might say, wow, that's a lot of money for a sticker. Well, clearly you have no idea where we came from, because from 2009 to 16, it was $23.75 per NuCalm use. And it involved a chewable tablet and a cranial electrotherapy stimulation device, and neural patches went behind your ears. There's a lot of complexity to trying to figure out how to create absorption of a nutrient in the form of a supplement, because the brain has not evolved to extract a high yield of nutrients from supplements. It can extract a high yield of nutrients from food. So the disc is incredible. You can buy it on the store. They sell it in packs of 20 and 100. It's $4 per. We say that they're one-time use only. You put it on your left wrist, you enjoy rescue, flow state, power nap, and off you go. Next question, Monica Magani.
Okay, can you talk a little bit about why it is important to use rescue, flow state, power nap with Ignite?
Oh, yeah. So the human species appears to be in trouble. And you can speculate that the human race is in a race to erase the human race. What are we doing? Why are we on this pace? Why are we so busy? Why do we have a to-do list of meaningful shit every day, and then we feel bad when we put our head on the pillow that we didn't finish our to-do list? When, if you think back, August 17th of 2016, what'd you do? Well, it's a to-do list. It's your daily to-do list. It's insanity. It's what it is. The media, the fear-mongering. You never look at the media. You never turn off the news and feel good. You never have a sense of serenity and peace of mind. And wow, we're really in a good place. The human race is really doing great things, right? So we're all adrenaline focused. We all are having our foot on the accelerator at all times. You can see this in all these macro areas of our life. You can see the proliferation of immunosuppressive diseases in our gut. 30 to 40 to 50 years ago, we did not have this proliferation of irritable bowel syndrome and ulcerative colitis and all these issues with our microbiome and eating food that's not food, and everything's, stored in preservatives, and our microbiome is a mess, and the enteric brain in our gut is a mess, and we're constantly in cortisol. That's not good. It's really simple. We're dying. Okay, well, let's not die. Let's try something different. So we can use Ignite, but Ignite elicits the strongest dump of dopamine of anything else that we've measured. Okay, well, we could probably not benefit from adding more cortisol and dopamine and catecholamines and adrenaline to a system that already has both feet on the accelerator. The key here is balance. And I know it's hard because balance sucks, man. I don't want to spend 30 minutes lying down with an eye mask on and a disc on my wrist, listening to music with physics, dropping my brain into theta. I don't have time for that. I want to go, 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 go. Make time. Because if you don't, the negative consequence in your 40s, 50s, and 60s is this awesome advent of disease, cancer, cardiovascular disease, you name it, gut diseases, arthritis, diabetes. All of this is coming for you if you don't find balance in your life. And if you think you have balance, look at your sleep architecture. If you're sleeping well, then maybe you have a chance of being in autonomic nervous system balance. But nobody that we've met in 14 years is sleeping well, which is a great indicator that your cortisol and your stress response is greater than your rest response. So please, if you're going to use Ignite, and we highly recommend that you do every day, please find a habit to use rescue, power nap, or flow state so that we can keep you in balance, keep you alive, keep you thriving, keep you happy, healthy, and keep disease away. Because disease is coming. It's inevitable, just like death. Well, let's stave it off for a while and let's live our best life and invest 30 minutes in rescue a day, and it will return a healthy immune system, a high level of resilience, a great happy heart, a great happy mind, and your ability to just be present with your life. Be a participant in your life. Stop being a spectator in your life, thinking about what's happening in the future or worrying about the shit that happened in the past. It's today, man. It's happening right now. Next up, Magani. She has obviously taken my advice and she's in rescue right now.
Oh no, sorry. I forgot I was in. Sorry. Last question is, how can you use focus and Ignite together?
Well, you can't use them together, but you can certainly stack them. So if you want to activate, so say you have a contract review, or you've got a lot of writing to do, or you want to catch up on emails, so maybe 1,000 emails in your inbox, and you got to decipher what ones are important and then really keep your brain, going. Start with Ignite, activate yourself, get yourself in that state where you're like, okay, let's go. I don't need coffee in the afternoon. I don't need Red Bull and Monster Energy and all these accelerants that are pure garbage for your body, by the way. They're terrible for you. So use Ignite, get activated, and then focus with headphones. When the cranium of your head gets tired or your ears get warm from wearing headphones, put a speaker on. You're not going to be as strong and as in the zone, but you can listen to focus for hours upon hours. There is no harm. You can do no harm by staying in a 15 to 20 hertz range of the learning zone. You can do no harm. In fact, you can do much good for yourself, because the human brain can only stay in that state if you're really good at understanding how to put yourself in that state. You can only stay there for 15 to 20 minutes before your brain becomes distracted, before you reach diminished returns, where your mental acuity is diminished, and you're just not learning and thinking that much. Try it on your own. You guys, everybody knows their brain better than anybody else, right? You know what you're good at. And if you think that you're good at putting yourself in the mental state where you can sit and work for an hour, you're wrong. Because at 15 to 20 minutes, this is physiology and neuroscience. It's not up for debate. You reach diminished returns. You can't keep that level of concentration. Well, with focus, you can. So you can use focus all day long. And then you can stop with focus. You can take a break. You can get some water. You can stretch out. You can go hug your kids or your spouse, say hi to people, make a phone call, whatever, and then get back to it. So Ignite to activate, focus for the long-term endurance, mental acuity, highly efficient, get more done in less time, and feel better while you're doing it. So I believe—
Sorry, one more question. Sorry,
okay.
One more question. One, how much theta do we get in a normal night's sleep? And second, the new Rescue 120 track you mentioned is more advanced. Could that be why someone might get balanced quicker and finish earlier in that session? Reach their natural endpoint earlier in a shorter period of time.
Wonderful. So theta is part of the second stage of sleep. And after puberty changes our hormonal regulation. We become hormonally dysregulated and we lose our circadian rhythm at puberty. After that, we kind of just struggle. A lot of it has to do with life choices. A lot of us find solace and relief in alcohol, so we drink alcohol. And when we drink alcohol, we corrupt our GABA receptor sites. And GABA is a primary inhibitory neurotransmitter that's designed to help us with relaxation, preparing for sleep and sleep. So we should be getting in the sleep architecture 100 minutes, 90 minutes. We should be getting several episodes of theta brainwave function in our sleep. We're not. We're coasting through. So people with addiction and disease issues, alcoholism, etc., they never really get through the sleep architecture. They oscillate more in alpha. That's why when you drink too much and you pass out, you're right, you're not awake, but you're not really sleeping. So we are not getting enough theta. We're cruising through that level of our sleep architecture too quickly. We're not staying there. So pre-puberty, we have beautiful sleep. Beautiful sleep architecture. Starts with 100 minutes your first cycle, and then it's 90, and then it diminishes throughout the night. You may be getting 40, 50 minutes of theta in that sleep architecture. After puberty, we're not getting enough at all. We're not in REM enough. And you can see it from your data when you're looking at an Oura ring or a Whoop band or whatever quantitative measure of self you're looking at. The Rescue 120 is no different on a macro level than any of the rescue journeys. But if you think about how long you were in there and how quickly to balance your autonomic nervous system, it doesn't take long at all, ladies and gentlemen. You can do NuCalm Rescue 3 days in a row and get into balance. It's really quite amazing. So say you start and you're really, really sick, or you're really in a stressful state, and your NuCalm experience is maybe 70 minutes, which is a long time. The next day, you've probably shaved off 20 of those minutes. You're probably at 50. By day 3, I guarantee you're at about 30 to 45 minutes, which is the natural biorhythm of most humans that are in autonomic nervous system balance. The most dramatic case that we've witnessed was 4 hours and 4 minutes by a female subject with stage 4 metastatic brain cancer. The next day was 1 hour and 56 minutes, and the next day was under 50 minutes. 3 days to get into balance. The NuCalm Rescue 120 is definitely the strongest rescue that we've ever created. If you were to use this 3 days in a row, yes, you'll get to that state faster, but it might just be a minute, maybe 2 minutes. We're talking about a difference of 99% to 96 or 95%. Any of the rescue tracks, remember this, the down ramp, the departure lounge to take you to theta is 8.5 minutes. So rescue 50 is 8.5 minutes down. The last 4 minutes of every rescue journey take you from theta at 4 hertz and raise you to 15 hertz. So 4 minutes and 8.5 is 12.5 minutes. So you can subtract 12.5 minutes from the rescue journey length. If it's 50 minutes, you're in theta for 37.5 minutes. If it's 70 minutes, you're in there for 50 minutes and change, okay? So that's how this works. Every minute you're in theta, your cells are restoring, your mitochondria is being restored, your cells are cleaning their toxins and cellular maintenance, and you're getting at least 2 hours of restorative sleep in that 20-minute period. So if you're in NuCalm Rescue 70 and you're in theta for 56 minutes or whatever, you are in an incredibly gifted state of resilience, of lowering inflammation, removing lactic acid, feeling grounded, feeling centered, feeling calm, feeling relaxed, and feeling able to just do amazing things in your life. So yes, would it have an impact if you use Rescue 120 3 days in a row? The key is this, though. Your brain is smarter than our neuroscience. It'll always be that way. The brain's incredible. Your brain knows how much recovery you need at that moment when you need it. Just like if you pay attention when you're eating, your brain, when you're full, secretes leptin, tells your brain to stop feeding me. Whereas if you're anxious and stressed, your brain creates ghrelin that says, keep feeding me. I'm starving to death, even though when you're full, right? Many people begin eating when they're full. That's all stress modulated. It's all hormone balance, ghrelin or leptin. Leptin is the good hormone. Ghrelin is not so good. This is associated with stress. This keeps me eating when I'm already full. Same thing with recovery. you can try to stay into NuCalm Rescue longer than you need, but you will find yourselves becoming bored and even getting agitated. Like, I got to get up. I'm bored. I'm done. And you know this because when you are done recovering, your brain simply comes to that end point where you become aware of your surroundings. You're lucid again. You're like, okay, I'm done. It's like the button on a turkey pops on Thanksgiving morning. There's no warning of when it's happening, but it happens. So yes, you could benefit from every day doing Rescue 120. You're going to get into balance. Doesn't matter which rescue you use, period. And it's going to happen quickly. But remember, stress never takes a holiday. If you look at your calendar, next Wednesday, stress, it doesn't say stress is taking the day off. It doesn't say, hey, stress is going on vacation. Can I have approval? Stress is always going to be there. That's the beauty of this. That's the humility that we all need to have, and the understanding of taking care of ourselves. Every day we wake up, and every day the amygdala is waiting for us. Hey, Jim, here's what I have today for you to worry about. This, and this. It never takes a break. So give yourselves the break of NuCalm and erase the power of the amygdala, because we don't need the strength of a reptile brain anymore. We're much more evolved, and our culture is a lot safer than it used to be. I think, Monica, we are done.
We are. We're good.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of the ones who are there for you, who love you, and who need you. Period. Rescue, rescue, rescue. Everything else is gravy. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. Bye now.